What is up, beautiful people, my fellow questers and gamers and painters? We're coming at you live tonight to paint the Witch Lord, which I'm super, super stoked about. Now, over the last couple of days when Luke has been streaming down here, I painted a couple of things. I forgot to bring him over here, but he did show them on the stream. So I got the, I think I got the Druid done, and then, what was the other one? There was another one that I had gotten done. Oh, the wizard. See the wizard with the flame in his hand and the staff. And so I got those two done, and they turned out really, really good. They were really, really cool. So tonight, I was going to work on the bear form of the druid, like her shape-shifting form. But Luke is going to need the Witch Lord for tomorrow night's quest. And so I thought, you know what? I don't know when the next time you guys are going to be able to see him. I know it's not going to be his last time popping up here and there, but at least I think so. So I wanted to go ahead and get him painted so he'd be ready for the stream tomorrow. So I already primed him. I already dry brushed him. So let's just get right in. Again, to remind everybody, thank you anybody who joins me to want to chat with me. We're still a small enough channel right now that anybody that chats or puts something in there, we can respond to every comment as often as we can. And let's have fun just painting tonight, guys. I'm super stoked for it. I'm ready. Let me just get some music going here. I'll get the painting cam going, and then I'll get some music playing. And then we will begin. Alright, so here he is, dry brushed. And I always have trouble with the angle on these for some reason. I'm going to see if I can kind of move my light so it's not quite so. Okay, there we go. So there he is. And we are going towards this kind of a paint job here tonight. Right here. So that's what we're aiming for. To do something at least similar to that. Now, his sword that he has on his hip in that picture is actually on his back on the mini. And so, that's not a big deal. But I think he's going to be cool. He's got some dark gothic-y colors going on, so I think he'll be cool to paint. So, super stoked about that. And I'm going to just put my hair in a little ponytail real quick, just so it's not accidentally falling into the paint, because I do have pretty long hair. So I do not want it falling down into the paint while I am painting, because it will be something I will not catch and will not realize has happened till it's already happened, and then boop, I'll have paint in my hair. And I just took a shower earlier, so I really don't want to have to take another shower again until tomorrow at least. So the first thing I think we're going to do is just like his main color. Put my little owl glasses on here. Turn my light on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is work on like this. It's a different material than what's on the back of that, but that's okay. And so I've chosen, we were going to do like this really deep red, but it's more of like a mauve-ish red color. So I chose this color called Murder Scene because it is a black purplish red color. And I thought, that would work pretty well. So that's what we're doing tonight. That's what we're starting out with, is his like main part of his outfit. I'm not sure exactly what the outfit is. It's not a cloak and it's not a whatever that is. The dressy part. We'll just say that. Okay. And then I already do have some paint on this right here and right there. There's some white paint, and that was still wet because that was from when I primed and dry brushed him earlier. So we're going to get right down into this. See which brush. I've discovered I had some other small brushes, and so I'm going to try to use some of these. I also found this really, really tiny. It's a Army Painter Wargamer Insane Detail Brush is what it's called, that I forgot I had. So I think this will work really well for like eyes and stuff, better than the other ones that I've been using. So let's get this started here. I'm going to move this actually just a little little this way so that I can paint, yes, like that. Okay, and so it pretty much, he does have a gold trim on this as well. And so we'll just be careful not to paint anything else. I normally start with skin tone, but he doesn't really have skin. He's kind of skeletal. So I think I'm going to wait on that part, and I'm going to do this part first this time. And we're going to get her started here. So I think that this is a pretty cool color. Pretty cool color combo here. So let's get her going. Might find out here why these brushes I had kind of retired. Now does that go? Yes, it does. It goes all the way down. Okay. I thought so, but then I panicked because I thought, well, maybe it doesn't go all the way down. So it's actually only on the edge of the sleeve and not underneath it. That's that gold color. And I chose the deeper gold color this time. I have like a brighter gold and a deeper gold, just because I think that the deeper gold will look better on him once this is all said and done. So I think this is going to turn out nice. Nice. So he can try to make monsters in his quest super dead. Or heroes, I guess. Of course, the heroes to him would be considered monsters, I guess. So, guess that counts. What I said was right. Alright, and then I guess, let me see this for a second. Okay, so underneath there is gold as well. So that's actually gold that's up in there. Alright. Okay, and then this is a different color that's like on his waist here. So now we are going to paint the other sleeve, excuse me. And I might put some, I have it like a dark red wash that I might put on this once it dries, just to kind of give it a little bit more, crud. Crud. Whoopsie. That's okay. We'll make that a happy, relaxing gosh darn it. I'm sorry, guys. I can back up a little bit here so you guys can see. The last couple of days I've been painting, I haven't had to be on camera, and so I've kind of just been moving around all over the place, and I gotta remember now that I'm on camera, and you guys need to be able to see what I'm doing. Otherwise, what's the point? I think actually this, I need to go for this way. Alright. My light is kind of hitting me right in the face. See if I can't pull it out there. There, I think that's a little bit better. That is for sure better. Okay. Definitely better. Okay, and then I think this part right here is also this color. Thought this was the edge, but then when I turned it over, it was like, no, that's not the edge yet. Okay, and then we'll kind of get in here. It's a little bit of an awkward angle to get in, but that's okay. Awkward angles. It's what we painters live for, huh? Yeah, this is actually turning more purple than red, I think, but I still think it's okay. Because once I put a dark red wash on it, I think that'll make it even cooler. It'll be cool. Okay, clean my brush so that I can... You don't clean your brush every so often when you're using the same color for a while. It tends to dry down into the brush at the bottom, and so we do not want that for sure. Not that it's really a huge deal. I wonder why his outfit is kind of textured on the mini, but on the card it's not, or on the the booklet, it's not textured. Again, not that's really that big of a deal, just curiosity, I guess. Mostly is why I'm wondering. For curiosity's sake, why it's textured here, but not on the book. That's a-okay with me. And it's really cool because normally on the cards, when I'm trying to match the cards to the minis, most of the time their feet are not in the picture, and so I kind of just have to guess and just make up how their shoes look. You know, just kind of pick a color and go with it. Usually I pick some sort of brown or black. But his feet are actually showing in this, so that's pretty cool that I won't have to have any guesswork in there. So that's kind of nice. I've really been having a lot of fun painting. I took a break for a long time. I've talked about that before. When I was painting all the goblins, and I just got so sick of painting goblins that it kind of like, I just got bored with it. And, painting the same things over and over and over again. Even though that, the groupings were different color schemes, it still got so tedious after a while that they're all just the same colors. And same, you have to do so many of them. Because I think in each grouping there was 14 a piece of each one. And so it just gets tedious after a while just painting the same things over and over again. And so it really was difficult not getting bored with it. With the ADHD and things like that, it's really hard to maintain focus on something if it gets too repetitive. And this has been a lot better ever since. I do still have some goblins to paint, but I think I accidentally just painted his foot. Well, that's okay. I can fix it. Not a big deal. But what was I talking about? When I moved off of the goblins and started painting these heroes for Luke, since how he started playing, it has kind of reinvigorated everything, I guess. And now I look forward to being able to paint, even to the point where I've been painting off stream, just because I'm excited about it again. It's been exciting, and I've been enjoying it. And I know that we have some shorts on YouTube, over on our YouTube page, where some of the paint jobs I did off stream are on there, and people have been liking it, and so that's really been awesome. I really like that. When I got done with the Mordecai, I think that's his name, the older wizard, the amount of detail that I put into his cloak, because he has all these runes on his cloak, and so talked about that a little bit before, and he just has so much going on in there. So those runes were pretty difficult to paint, but they were a lot of fun. Like, even the tedious little details, I'm having fun, just because it's not a goblin. Sick of the goblins for a little while. I want something different. And so this has really been, a way for me to get away from the goblins for a while and really enjoy and have fun doing something other than goblins. I've been having fun with it. And we, of course, hope you guys are having fun with it. That's the main part. Other than us having fun, you guys need to have fun. And so that is what we want for sure. Alright, yes, I definitely started to paint his shoe because I thought it was his cloak under here. So what I'm going to do, I think, because it's going to be, his shoes are, let me see, like silver and black and gold. So that won't be hard to cover. Even though this is a darker color, metallic paints and stuff pretty much cover just about anything, which is, you know, a beautiful, beautiful thing. Love that about them. Luke's dad's in here, and he said, no spiders tonight. No, not so far, thankfully. Because I would be upstairs hiding while Luke is taking care of the spider problem. However, I will say this. This is the weirdest thing. Like, I'm terrified of spiders. Spiders just absolutely... I don't know what it is about them. Just absolutely creep me out. In every way, shape, and form. Just, ugh. I don't like the way they move. I don't like the way they look. Everything about them is just creepy to me and make me just shiver. Because I can't... Ugh. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. And for the last, actually, couple of years now... At the bottom of our basement stairs over here, there's a web off to the side that has had a little black spider in it. And I don't know exactly what kind of spider she is. I assume it's a she. I've been calling it a she because it just feels, she feels like a she. But I could be wrong. Could be a he. But I named her Charlotte. And she's just been, she hangs out there and she stays deep enough down in her web that I do not ever really see her. I kind of just see her silhouette. Now, if she was out here crawling around, I wouldn't be able to handle it, and I would completely freak out. But because she stays to herself and she stays just down in, you know, out of view where she's not out on the web most of the time, I can handle her being over there, and it doesn't bother me all that much. And until recently, we barely ever came down into the basement, so. DA says, the Witch Lord commands legions of undead spiders. Oh, no. Now, there are some spiders that I'm going to be painting later, but that's later, man. Looks like I missed just a little bit at the edging here. Okay. Make sure there isn't any obvious spots I missed. Okay. And I think if I just put a dark red wash over that, that'll kind of darken it up, but to give it the more red color that it needs to have. Okay, so next I think I'm going to maybe work on these areas that are on his waist, just because it's a smaller, and the area that's across his, basically his butt area. And I gotta remember all the colors I chose, what I chose for what here. Okay, so that color, I think I chose this burnt moss for. And this is a blackish green gray color. Dia says, does Charlotte spin words into her web? Nope, not so far. That would be a miracle, and I would be calling like whatever I needed to call to put her on TV for that. The local news or whatever. Be like, this spider is just like Charlotte and spins words into her web. Maybe if I got a pig. TA says, some painter. Yeah. Alright. So let's get this color going here. Alright. Re-wet our brush here. Alright, and I think that is that the only area of this that is that color? No, the area that's up under his arms is also that color. It's actually, excuse me, kind of like a silverish, greenish gray, I guess, but I think this will be fine. Okay, sorry, freaked out there for just a second because... hang on one second. I got a notification on my computer. I just heard Luke walk across the floor. I wonder if one of the boys woke up. I was like, I don't know what I'm hearing, but it sounds like my ceiling's coming down on my head for just a second there. And it was fine. Okay. Yeah, like I said, my goal was to do the druid shape-shifting form, but when I knew that Luke was going to end up needing this mini for tomorrow night's quest, I was like, you know what? I'll take a break from the shape-shifting form from the heroes to paint the villain here, because we need him painted. We need this villain to be painted. Because he was stark white, the mini was, and I was like, nope, that's not going to do. We need him to be painted. And I think I'm going to paint this little area here, there, and then in the back there's a little bit of this showing through here. Same on this side. A little bit of it. A little bit here on his side over here. So let's get that area done. Okay. And I think those are the only areas. No, his helmet also has that. This area right here on the helmet also has that color. So add that color in there. Okay, I think that worked out nice. All right, and then that is for sure, I think, the last. Yeah. Whoops. No, I just knocked that over. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so that color's done, and so now I'm kind of trying to separate what colors I've used and what I haven't here. These are the colors over here to this side that I've got in this. You can't really see that from what I'm looking at right here, but I've got all these browns and stuff picked out for that bear form. Put these over here. Okay, so the next thing is going to be this part right here that's under his chest and this little cloth piece hanging down here. And I chose Gravelord Gray for that because it's like a real deep gray color. And so I think that'll look nice. It's like, it's just gray on here instead of like black gray or light gray. It's just gray. I think it'll be nice. Shake up my paint here. Get all the dried paint that's on it off and thrown away here. Baby. Get off me. There we go. Okay, a little dabble of that. Stick that over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get that painted down in here. Yep, that's definitely a gray color. For sure. Okay, and I can see just a couple areas around this where I didn't paint with that purplish color close enough, so I'm going to fix that real quick. There we go. And then underneath here a little bit. Okay. Just a couple of tiny little spots there. Alright, and then it's the piece that's under this chest piece that he's wearing, or the thing that's like down his chest and across his shoulders. There's also this gray color. Okay. Alright. Go along the bottom of this again right here. Just to kind of make it even a darker gray, because it's a pretty deep gray color. And the great thing about speed paints is that they dry so quickly that you can go over them literally seconds later if you need to like just apply another coat to it. And it works pretty well. Some of them are a little bit more thin and some of them are a little thicker, so it doesn't always work, but it worked that time with that one. So that was nice. Okay, alright, so the next, what color is the, oh, that's like a brown that's on the, okay, I didn't have a brown picked out. Or dark gold. Okay, I'm thinking that that's going to actually be brown. So I'm going to use the hardened leather color. Alright, this piece that's up here, like under his neck, that's on the shoulder piece, is like brownish gold in the picture. Okay, so the next thing I think I'm going to do I want to do the gold? Yeah, I think I'll do the gold next. I'm going to have to shake this up because this is one of the colors, kind of like the Horde Bronze that I used for, it wasn't that long ago. I don't remember what I used it for, but I definitely had to shake that up because it would settle all to the bottom and separate. So definitely got to shake that up. I think I'm going to stand this here instead. Got a little bit warm, so I turned my fan. Well, then it blew over the book that has his reference picture on it. So let's see how that's looking. Okay, just a little bit more here. Try not to shake the table. I'm going to take a quick drink here. Okay. Keep an eye on the time tonight because I do have a couple of things that I have to do after I'm done streaming tonight. So I don't want to go over on my time here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So get that deep gold color. And let's get the gold trim and stuff done on his sleeves and around his waist. And the little bauble that's in the middle of his waist as well. You know what though? I'm thinking, hang on a second. Because I'm thinking that inside this sleeve it would be purple. It's only like the edging that's or whatever this color is, this blackish purple color. That would be, this wouldn't be gold on the inside. It's just kind of like the edging of his cloak robe thing. Okay, so we'll let that dry and then we'll go over and do the other side. And this one is closed enough that you can't really see into it. So it doesn't matter if that one is completely gold. Real careful right here. There's a lot to do right in this area. coming out good so far, I think. Alright, now I should be able to... Did I? I'm going to talk to myself as well. There's a little shrink in there. I hate that when that happens. It's pretty annoying when that happens. When you're painting and a little piece of like dried paint is in the wet paint and then it sticks to your brush. But you don't realize it's there until you start painting, and then it sticks to the mini, and it's just now I gotta touch that up because of that as well. Super excited to paint this guy too, just because he's really cool looking. I like his staff that he's got. That's gonna be really cool because I thought it was just black, and then when I was looking at it closer, it actually has like the bat figure that's on it is actually like a oily purple color. So I'm gonna paint that this like deep purple color, and then this oil stain effect over top of it, because I think it'll make it look really, really cool. Okay, so the tops of his helmet thing, skull helmet thing, whatever this is, the little spikes on it at the top are gold. Got another little piece in there. Down around his waist, this piece here is also gold. Feel like he's pretty fancy looking for being an undead villain. But maybe when he was alive, he had like riches and all that stuff, and then he demanded to be buried with it or something. Because he was like, I'll be back, and then he was. He swore vengeance, and he wanted to look good when he did. Nothing tastes sweeter than exacting vengeance and looking good while you're doing it. For some reason, this paint is not very thin. It's trying to get chunks in it, which is not what you want to hear, you know. So we'll just get a little dab of fresh here and hope that'll solve that problem. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit cold, and I just knocked over the thing. Smooth move. I just knock over everything while I'm at it. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, it's just a little area right there. There we go. That's better. That looks better. Everybody. Don't know why that song stuck in my head. I know you guys are hearing something completely different, but I have that Dancing in the Moonlight song stuck in my head for some reason. I don't even remember the last time I heard that song. But there it is in the back of the brain. Okay. Let's see. I need a little bit more of this. Not that color. This one. Because I noticed there's just a little spot on here that I missed. There we go. Got it. And then the purple color as well, the purple reddish color, because I got just a little bit of the gold on it. And again, easy to fix, easy to cover. Cover the happy little tree there. Right like that. Fold up my paper towel here. Okay. Alright, what else is gold? Alright, it looks like the hilt of his sword and the end of it are gold. So we're gonna, oops. There I go again, trying to knock everything over. Alright, so this piece, it's like gold down here at the bottom. Even though on the mini it's all one piece, it's definitely not on the picture. So trying to make it as accurate as I can. So let's see, it looks like the little tip of the handle is gold. Oh, you know what? I just realized I need to paint this gray back here. Okay. And then this is gold, this part. And then the other part is black. And it actually has some red runes, it looks like, on the sheath as well. But they're not on this mini, which is kind of disappointing. I wish that it was, because that would look so cool. And I could totally paint those in there if they were there. I'm sad about that. I could probably try to fake something, but I don't know if I want to do that. It's kind of hard to do with runes. Okay, and then looks like the edge of his helmet is also gold. So we'll go ahead and start that, and it's all the way around. Yes. So it's this piece here. I wonder if it would just be the trim and then the underside of the helmet would be different, like a darker color, maybe I'll do that purplish black color, because the top of this helmet is that purplish oil stain, like the same thing at the top. So maybe I'll just paint the edging of this, and then underneath it it'll be a different color underneath. I think that'll work. I think that'll work just fine. Okay. Piece here. Let's see. That piece. Oh. Why did that happen? Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I'm getting a little chunky again. Already. That didn't take long. Okay. Over here. Oh, okay. Luke just said if I could move the camera a little bit more towards me, because sometimes the mini's not on there. Yes. Hopefully that'll be better for you. Oh man, fix that gray area. I got a happy little accident there, but that's okay. Easy to fix. Easy to fix. Yeah, when I was painting the druid last night, I think it was, yeah. And she's got, like, on the character card, she's got a lot of brown, like muted browns and just icky looking browns. And so we decided that we were going to paint her different colors, and we decided more because she's a druid, so we decided to do more like greens and things like that. And after I got done with the greens, the yellow, because she had yellow trim and stuff, it was so bright. And I was like, I don't really like that now that I'm looking at it, now that we changed it. If it was with brown, it would make more sense. And so I changed it, and then I ended up going over it with like an orangish color to kind of dull it down a little, like just around the edging, and it worked. And I was like, okay, that looks a lot better, because I wasn't exactly the happiest with how that was turning out, and I didn't even realize it until I stepped back after I did it and looked at it, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't like that. So I'm glad that that was able to be fixed, because I was not a fan. Okay. That fixed that little area. And then just a little tiny area right there. Okay, and then he's got this piece that's around his neck is also this gold color. So go ahead and make that more conscious of where I'm going with him. So that way he's on the stream. Gotta start being real careful when I start getting into areas that are already painted to I hold my breath a lot, because I'm like, ooh, I gotta go around this area that I already did. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, go back over this area right here, and then under here. Just be really careful. Okay, and then I think the last gold thing is the thing that's on his chest. And I don't... Oh, nope. There's gold stuff on the staff. Okay. Forgot about that. It's going to be really cool, the staff, I think, because it's going to be like black and gold and that purplish, oily black color. It's going to be really cool when it's done. I think so. Okay, and then it looks like basically this whole piece is gold, and there's a red gem in the middle of this thing in his chest. So, I'll leave that blank so that I can paint it red. Now, Luke, if you're watching, I have, for this gem, he actually kind of has gems all over that are like real red. I have this gemstone red metallic color. Do you think that that would look good for the gems, is to do this like real metallic-y red color? Or should I stick with just like a poppy red or a deep red? What do you think, if you're watching? Or if anybody else is watching, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And if nobody responds, then I'll just throw something on there. Oh. Accidentally just touched the gray with this gold, so I'll have to fix that in a second. Again, I think that's going to be my catchphrase. It's not a big deal. Happy little accident. Easy to fix. Okay, and then... yes, it is sparkly. That gemstone red color is sparkly. It's like a metallic-y red color. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a metallic-y... It's not like glittery sparkly, but it is like... Hang on a second. I squirted too much of that out. Hang on one second here. So it's kind of like this... See how it's kind of bibbity red? Makes sense to me then. Okay, cool. So yeah, here it's like on a paper towel here. It's kind of like, it's hard to see in the light, but it's like, yeah, it's like a sparkly, it's a gem color, essentially. So it works, I think. Okay. All right, let's see. So I think he also has the gold on this little, it's like a little spider looking thing on his waist here, like kind of in the middle here. It's not really very clear on the mini. It is on the picture, of course, but not on the mini what exactly it is that this is, but we'll go ahead and paint it gold anyhow. Okay, and then I need some more of the burnt moss color. Oops, that was a little too much, but that's okay. That is okay, because I got a little bit of the gold right here. So I want to cover that up with the dark color. Easy to cover. I actually got a little bit on this side too. In this area actually it's just a little thin, so that's fine. And we'll just go back over it. Not a big deal at all. Okay, and then the same thing with the gray color, which I think that's still wet, so I don't got to worry about getting more of that. And right here, And then on his back, I just completely forgot to do the back piece here. That's this color. So let's fix that, shall we? And then I think this one is just straight gray. This isn't like gold trimmed or anything like that. This area here, and then there's a strap for this sword, and that's actually in this too. What color is that? Okay, it's the same as the cloak color. Interesting. That's or the like the reddish purplish color. That's really cool. All right. Well, let's get that on there then. Gotta get a little more of that, because that dried out. So okay, let's get a little bit of that to paint that. And I did not realize that. That's pretty cool. That's a little too much on the brush there. Is that thick? Oh, yes, yes it is. What is going on with this tonight? Why is it doing that? There we go. Yeah, I think that'll look pretty cool with that deep red wash over top of it. I think that's going to end up looking pretty snifty. Okay, I missed just a little bit of the burnt moss color over here, I think, because I thought it was part of the shirt. So I want to fix that. Yeah, under there like that. That looks better. Okay. Alright, and this gray color I'm going to go over this again with, just to make it a little bit darker. Stands out a little bit more away from the burnt moss color, because it's right next to it, so it doesn't really stand out very well. Okay, did I grab a silver? I did not, and he has some silver on him, so we'll use our polished silver color. Alright, I do still have some gold to do though on the staff, so let me see here. Looks like there's a little neck piece around this top here. That is gold. And it goes over the back. Just be super careful here. Oh, definitely holding my breath for that. Kind of more obvious in the back that that's there, but not by a whole lot. Okay. Oh, and this kind of comes down in the front. I see that now. And yes, that is gold. Oh, Justin's here. Hey, Justin. Glad you could join me. Okay. And then this whole thing right here above his hand is gold. So the skull, his eyes are black, so I gotta be careful with that. Alright, good, I'm still on the stream. Okay, good. Here. And this kind of does one of these looking things here, because it's got like talons. Doesn't said, yeah, just laying down, woke up and was like, oh dang, better get to the stream. Yes. Don't want to miss it. It's a good one tonight. Me and Luke have a, well, it's not really an in joke. It just more is annoying to Luke than anything. But a long time ago, when we first played this with the Witch Lord, and I started saying the Witch King instead, and just like, and I know obviously that's a Lord of the Rings thing, but it was just funny how just he would be like, no, that's not, and I'm like, I mean, sometimes I get it confused. I didn't really. I just like to tease him. Kind of see that a little bit more, I guess, if I really am looking. Just come straight up. Like that. Get painted over it a little bit, but that's okay. Easy fix, easy fix. Around the whole skull like that, which is really cool. Oh, there's our first what is that, spam chat. So if you guys don't have enough viruses on your computer, make sure that you click on that. Don't really, I'm joking. Don't listen to me. Okay. And then, should I get the bottom of it good? Okay, and then it actually has, whew, that is real tiny detail. Might do that insane detail there. Okay, and then at the very bottom, this is gold at the very bottom of it. So, go ahead and put that done here. Okay. Then I'm gonna get this little tiny brush that I found earlier that I forgot I had. This insane detail brush. And I'm gonna hopefully paint this itty bitty little tiny area that are around these gems on this. Yes. Whew, that is not easy to do. That is for sure. Ooh. man. Ooh, okay. Wow. Oh, that was a backbreaker. Oh, and he does have gold on his shoes, so like, let me see here. The heels, he's got like a. Alright, so it's like the tip of the shoe. Whoa. Brush just hardcore frayed apart. Maybe I'm now figuring out why I had this brush put away. Let's see. Gold, and then it's like a strap here around the back. Strap around the back. There's also gold. So it's this area where I accidentally painted it earlier. Okay, that'll work for me. Okay, so now let's see. Is that gold as well? I guess it is. Okay. I don't realize that, but there's little, like, jut outs on this at the top, and I thought they were a different color for some reason. Not sure why I thought that. But they are not. They are also gold. Easy, easy, easy fix. Okay. Alright. Alright, the next thing I want to do, I think, is the silver. Because the only thing on him that is silver that I can tell is the piece of, or no, that's not silver, that's white. Okay, well that explains why I got the white instead of the silver. Alright, so which two of these? It's kind of like an off, like, grayish white. Right there, that color. It says grayish white right on it. That'll work. Works for me. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your paint, paint. Shake your paint, paint. Alright. Now I will say, I chose this holy white color for this grayish white color for the thing around his waist. I will say that sometimes these white colors tend to be a little on the thin side, and then they kind of just, you got to put like 3 or 4 coats on there to even get them to really show up. So I'm hoping this is one of the ones that's not quite like that. Okay, this looks like it might be a little bit better as far as, you know, that goes. So let's find out. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, yeah, no, that one's pretty good. That doesn't look too bad. Might need a second coat, but probably nothing after that, honestly. think that this would be an okay color. Oops. There we go. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the sheath. Oh. Didn't really get anything on it though, that's good. So I completely forgot about that sheath back there. In the picture, the sheath and the dagger thing is on his hip. But in this, it's all across his back for some reason. Not sure why they changed it, but that's fine. Again, it's fine. Okay, and then I do need that dark gray color again, this Gravelord gray, because I did get just a tiny bit of that lighter gray on there. Easy enough to cover up. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Right in this area. I actually got a little bit on the gold as well. So, again, easy to cover. I love that when that happens. Okay, and then I did get just a tiny bit on the sheath because I forgot it was there. And so, again, just an easy little fix. I was just going to paint all the way around before remembering that. Good thing it caught my eye before I just went all out with it. Okay, let's see now. Alright, I got just a little bit of that gray up here like this. Easy coverage. Easy coverage. I have found that half of the work of painting these miniatures is literally just covering up the mistakes that are made sometimes. Alright, he has red eyes, and so does this little bat thing that's on his staff. So, I haven't done his skin yet, but I think I'm going to do the brown that's up on top of this chest piece that he's got going on here. Go ahead and do some of my favorite brown, which is called Hardened Leather. It's a light brown, and it's a very nice light brown, but it's not so light that it's like distracting. It blends pretty well, and I think that this will blend really well with this gold color for sure. Kind of makes it look like an off gold color, which is what it needs to look like. And again, in this area that I'm painting now, he has some symbols and stuff up there, but I'm not going to attempt to try to paint symbols on. I wish they would have included them. I feel like that would have been better than trying to replicate them, because I don't want to not do them justice. I mean, if they're not there, I'd rather just them not be there than to try to duplicate them. Probably could if I spent like a lot of time doing it, but not so sure that's what I want to do. Okay, and then there's just a little bit of this brown down here in this area. Okay, yeah, I think that will work well. Worked pretty well, I think. Alright, so actually there is a little side of this that I missed. Let's go ahead and get that all fixed up here. There we go. That looks better. Looks better. All right. So now we're getting down to the last little bit of things. I go ahead and do his skin color. So, and the little spikes that are coming up off the helmet are also this color. He's kind of like a, his face is kind of pale, but his hands are more of that grayish kind of. So you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Paint his hands this grayish color. And then do his face whiter like it is in the picture. I think that'll look pretty cool. It could work. It could work. Let's find out. So I think it will. Like I said, might need to put a couple of coats on this to make sure it is covered nice once it dries. Because this one is a little bit thin. In this area, it's a little bit thinner than it was on the belt for some reason. Okay, so we'll kind of let that dry here. Go over this area again, actually, with it, just to kind of get any spots that just need a little bit of extra coverage here. I think that's pretty good. Good. Okay, let his hand dry. And then his face is going to be this bony spikes collar, I think. Is that what I want to... Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. I was like, is it a little too bright? But no, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. So what I'm going to do is, this is actually acrylic paint, and this one is not a speed paint. So I think I'm going to add just a little bit of water in it to kind of make it a little bit looser so it's not quite so stiff. So I don't want it to be too stiff. Just around the horns on his head. I have found sometimes with acrylic paints, they can be a little bit just too thick, and then when you're painting, they kind of start clumping up, and then it just doesn't look nice. So I just a drop of water just to kind of loosen it up. Sometimes it gets a little too loose, but I'd almost rather it be a little too loose than too thick and clump up and look just chunky, you know. I'd much rather it be smooth and liquidy. Smooth and liquidy. Okay, and then his eyes are actually like red. So I'm just gonna, that area under there is black, so I'm just gonna leave that. Let me see my, this brush. This little itty bitty tiny brush. So I can get up like around his eye area. Without hitting his eye area. Make sure it's still, yeah, okay. Top, thicken it up a little. Okay, and then at the bottom of the horns on his head, it's a little bit dirty looking. So I might just take a little like light brown wash or something, kind of put at the bottom to kind of give it that kind of dirty look at the very bottom. Okay, so now I'm thinking, other than the little red detail, oh no, I missed a little gray area right here from earlier when I accidentally got gold on this. Let me cover that real quick. Now I'm thinking that, oh man, that's not one to cover. There we go. There we go, we got it. Alright, so I'm thinking that I want to do those red details last. And he does have a little bit of silver on the shoes, but I think I just might make them black and gold. I think that's just going to be easiest in the long run to do. Yeah. So I do like the way that gray looks on his hands. It's kind of pretty cool, I think. It makes them look the way that they do on the thing, but I might go ahead, he's got a real long nail right here on this thumb, and once that dries I might paint like a darker color just over that nail to make it look kind of like dirty almost, maybe. I think that'll look cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the, let's see, I think what I want to do is this grim black color I'm going to do for his shoes, and then part of the staff is black as well. So I'm going to just do some of the green here, or green, can't talk, black. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of his shoes in this color. And then back here at the heel, there's a little bit. Okay, and then on the inside here, it's kind of hard to see what is shoe, because it's kind of tucked under his cloak thing here. That's a little difficult to really get into there. Okay, and then actually the dagger on his back is, the sheath is black, and the handle in between the hilt is black as well. Get that done. Ooh. Now, let's see what else is black. Okay, the shoes, the hilt of the dagger, and the eyes of the skull on this, but I think I'm going to use the really thin brush for that. And then this part of the staff is also black. that little tiny detailing brush. This one. Get in the eye holes. One. Did get that a little overdone, so I want some gold to cover that up. There we go. Looks better. Alright. And then, let me see here. Alright, so now I think really about, other than the little red details, it's time to do the purplish oil looking color, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm doing this Hive Dweller purple. It's a really deep, it's a very dark purple is what it says on the bottle. And they're not lying. It is a very, very dark purple. Regular brush here, and I know I like my brush, but you know, it's fine. Helps me smooth it out better than the water does. Okay, so paint this really deep purple, and then put that oil looking effect over it. Super excited about it because I think it's going to be really cool. This area down here, I'm going to use that little small brush. Again, just because there's so much detail on this thing. I want to try to do it as much justice as I can. Forgot what I was doing there for a second. It's always good, isn't it? Okay, and then this part of his cloak down, or the staff down here, is also this deep purple. And those little tiny details up there, but I'm not going to use this brush for that because it's just a little bit too big. I'm going to use this small brush for that. And then his helmet is also this color. Okay, now the helmet is also this color at the very top here. Gotta be careful. More of that purple because it's already getting dried out a little bit that I put on there. That's okay. It's fine. Ow. Okay. Oh right, the underside of the helmet. I was like, I was gonna paint something else and now I don't remember what it was. It's that. Alright. I am hoping that the oil stain effect is going to make this look like slick looking, and I'm super stoked about it. I want it to work. I want it to work. Okay. And so now I'm going to use this little tiny brush to get the purple down in this area that I need it to be in. Bit more. Stop drying out on me. I need you smooth. Whoa. That was a little bit too much. I remember now why I quit using that. Let me use this one. That's good. Well, I didn't miss it. I saved it because it was so tiny in this area. I didn't want to use the bigger brush for that. Piece up here that I kind of there like that. Ah. Get just a little bit more gold here. Oh, right. Oh. The purple. Okay, so I think since how the horns are dry, I'm gonna do the, where is it? Maybe the soft tone. Yeah, let's do this soft tone on the horns, the swash. Again, don't need much of it, just a little bit. And then we're just gonna very bottom of these horns, just kind of make them look a little rough. Rough. Same on this side. Same with his fingernail. Just a little bit more of that into this fingernail. Okay, all the way down. Like that. Like that. Okay, and so now other than the effects, I think he might be done, other than just getting the effects and his base done. Oh, I did get a little bit. Is this the brown? Nope, that's not brown. Which one was brown? Is this one brown? Yeah, that one's brown. Just a little bit right here, because I got a little bit of that purple on the brown. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm going to do the dark red tone to give that darker purple a little more time to dry. Let's get this dark red tone going over his outfit here. See if that'll bring it more of a red color to it. I think it will. Keep that one there, in case I need more of it. Alright, and this, we don't really have to be like... Now, normally I don't use this much wash. It just depends on what kind of effect I'm looking for. And this time I wanted the effect to be darker red. Make it more similar to the color on the book. It doesn't have to be exact, but just similar I would like for it to be. Who knows, when this dries it might just look more purple. Alright, so let's see what that looks like. It's all done drying here. Washes don't usually take very long to apply because they are, you don't have to be quite as careful because you're just going over something you basically just already did. So now I'm going to do the oil stain over top of the purple, and hopefully that's going to turn out like I hope it will. Fingers crossed on that one. Alright. That in there. And then let's see. And I think even if this doesn't quite look the way that, I intend for it to, I still think that this dark purple color is just, this is just it, where it complements the mini well, I think. So, I think it still works, even if it's not, even if it doesn't achieve, exactly the effect that I was looking for. I think it'll still look really cool. It'll look really good once it's all done. Whoops. I set them up on the gold part of this shoulder pad. Not sure how I did that. There we go. And I also messed it up fix that once that dries. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that's gonna look really cool when it's done. Okay, back to the little tiny detail brush now. So now I'm going to do this gemstone red. And this is a metallic acrylic paint, and it's a little thick too. It might be okay. We're gonna figure this out here. We're gonna see. All right, I'm gonna have to refer to the picture too, because he's got a lot of these little gemstones just kind of everywhere. And his eyes are also, his eyes are more of the, I'm gonna use that real deep red for the eyes. But side, there, and there, okay, and then these little areas here. Over here though, so that's starting to get really crowded in that area. There's a right there. Hang on 1 second here. Gotta get this mixed up real good. I think that maybe, let me see if I put enough water. Kinda. Send this up. Let me see. Yep, there it is. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to do the eye color. He's got just pretty deep red eyes. So I'm going to use, can I use this for that? Maybe. Maybe at 18 in the gold. This is kind of hard because he's got holes in his face. Right here. It's not really easy to see what I'm even doing. Even though I got it right here. And this little back thing also has red eyeballs. Right there. So then, let's see. Yep, I think the grayish hands were a good bet. I'm gonna take the, no, not that. Where did I put the, okay. Put some brown. For that finger down, because I want it a little bit darker than what it is. Don't think that really made that redder. I think it kind of just made it darker purple. Which, that's fine. Alright. Okay, got all of his gems and everything right. I think the only thing I really didn't do was paint the runes on the blade. I can't even really see them on that picture, so I think it's okay. I see a spot where I need a little bit of touch up here, and that's this one right here. It looks like actually there's the, oh, that's right. There's a little piece of gold that I need to fix. Right. Or is that supposed to be gold? Right there. I found it. Alright, let's see now. How does that look? We have the little, no, it doesn't, but I see another place. I need to put a little bit more gold right there. And then, just a little bit, where's my, there, let's call it. Right, and that I can just take off of here and put it onto there. Alright. I think now he's done. I'm going to triple inspect him here, make sure that he looks done other than his base. Yeah. Okay. Let's get ready to do the base, and I just use the basic black acrylic apple barrel Walmart brand paint for that. Don't need much, just a little amount here, and then we'll paint him. Oops, I put that right over top of that white. That's right. Okay. Need just a little bit more right up in here. Right like that. Alright. Well, I do believe he's done. Get a little black out of this brush here. Alright. Alright, so let me put the cap back on this. Alright. And there he is. She's back. Okay. This is what he looks like here. Turning back around here. So, I think he's at least fairly similar. I think that the picture of this was a little bit more red, but I think that's okay. I don't think that's too bad. I think he came out pretty nice. So, alright. Well, other than sealing him, which is the last thing I have to do, and that'll be after he's completely dry, so I'll probably wait until tomorrow to do that. Let's get you guys over here to the full face cam. So tomorrow, I'll probably seal him up, and then he'll be ready for his next quest tomorrow night. Don't forget, tomorrow night and Tuesday night, Luke will be streaming and playing a Hero Quest, which is what I'm painting these figures for, is for the Hero Quest game. And then Wednesday, I will be back, and then Thursday is our day off, so that's the day that we will take our break for the week. And probably on Wednesday night's stream, I'm going to paint this. So what this is a door. So it's a double door, and Luke needs it for the second book of the, when he starts the second book. Now this is actually a piece, this right here is actually a piece of the other 3D board that we have. So I want to make sure I paint this the same as that, which I have written down in a notebook over here. So this is probably what I'm going to work on Wednesday night. So I'm going to work on painting this. I'm really excited about it because it has these little fires on each side, and that's going to be really cool. So that's the plan for Wednesday's next painting stream, is that door. And then, yeah, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night for the conclusion of the Return of the Witch Lord. I think is the last, it's the last one in this book, I do believe. And then Tuesday night is when he will start the next book, and we will actually have a guest playing that with Luke on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Okay, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next one, all right?